Did you know that your feet can tell you just about everything you need to know about your strengths, your weaknesses, and where you're most prone to injury, aches, and pains throughout your whole body? In this video, I'm going to talk about the different positions of your feet, meaning turned out, turned in, supinated, pronated, and so on. And I'm going to talk about what those positions mean for the rest of your body. And then I'm going to give you some exercises designed to rebalance your feet no matter what position they're in so that the rest of your body can be happy and feel good as well. So first, let's talk about the most common imbalance in most people, which is feet that turn out. Did you know that feet that turn out indicate muscles in your hips aren't doing the job they're designed to do, which means other muscles have to compensate, and that means that your back muscles are also compensating. So feet that turn out are actually an indication that your back is under stress and strain. Feet that turn out and pronate. So if your feet roll to the inside, that means that you are more prone to aches and pains in your neck. Now, why is that? When the feet roll in, when you pronate, what it does is it takes your knees and it rotates them in with it. So it puts the stress not only inside of your knee joint, which makes your knee more prone to injury, but it also then triggers the muscles in your hips, the outside muscles in your hips, to engage, to stabilize. Those muscles connect to your lower back. And when those muscles engage, it tells your mid and upper back to actually lock down. And as soon as that happens, your neck then is affected because all cervical motion is initiated right about here, right about that bony protuberance right in the upper back. So if your cervical motion is limited in any way, that means you're more prone to neck pain. But there's more. As your feet turn out and as they pronate, that means that your hips, as I said, aren't doing the job they're designed to do. And most likely that your pelvis has now changed position, whether it's rolled forward to increase the arch in the back, or rolled under to decrease the arch in the back. Either way, as soon as your pelvic position changes, now your upper back changes, your head changes position, and boom, neck pain, shoulder pain, headaches, migraines, all of these things can be related to your feet turning out and pronating. Next, let's talk about feet that in-toe. So if you're pigeon-toed, especially on one side, pigeon-toed feet always indicate a lack of motion and total function in your hip joint, specifically the function of abduction and external rotation, which means bringing the leg out and rotating it out. So pigeon-toed feet tell you immediately that the hip joint is limited. And often that means that there is not just a limitation, but there is a function of your hip joint that isn't happening, which leads to future degeneration or future hip pain. So it's imperative to correct the in-toeing position of your foot by going right after the muscles of your hips. See my video for in-toeing right up here. Next, let's talk about foot supination. So if your feet are supinated, meaning they're rolling to the outside, well, that's a whole different thing as well. Because when you roll to the outside of your foot, immediately you predispose your ankle to injury. So if you're playing sports, you're running, you're playing tennis, and you're already supinated going into the activity, that means you're more prone to injury in your ankle right off the bat because there's already stress on the outside of your ankle. So as soon as you make a move that asks your ankle to stabilize on the outside, if it's already tired and already weak, boom, it rolls and you sprain your ankle. And you blame the activity, but the real problem was the body going into the activity, not the activity itself. The other thing you need to know about feet that supinate is it means tight hips, specifically a tight psoas muscle, which is the muscle deep in your hip that connects to your 5 lumbar vertebrae. So when we talk about back pain, when your feet supinate, we automatically know that your back is now under more tension than it should be. And by the way, it's almost always the case where one foot supinates more than the other, which means there's imbalanced pressure on one side of your back, which means that there's imbalanced stress on one side of your back, which leads to pain on one side of your back. And more importantly, it can lead to disc herniations, disc bulges, and sciatic pain, which are all things you don't want. So we've briefly covered feet that turn out, feet that toe in, feet that pronate, and feet that supinate. I want to talk about one more thing, which is feet that are uneven, meaning one foot turns out more than the other, which again is the most common thing most people face in their lives and in their bodies. And what that means is when one foot turns out more than the other, it means there's a rotation. It means that the pelvis has actually rotated. And as soon as that pelvis rotates, that means that there's more stress on the inside of one knee there's more stress on one side of your back, and believe it or not, more stress on one side of your neck. So one-sided neck pain, one-sided back pain, one-sided hip pain, one-sided knee pain is almost always indicative of a foot that has turned out more than the other. You see, the body's a unit, and when the feet do one thing differently than the other side, it means that the body's not acting as a unit anymore. It's now acting on one side more than the other, or in pieces and parts. We know automatically what that means in terms of where the aches and pains are likely to show up. It's fascinating stuff, but it's true. Take it from me. I've been watching bodies for well over 25 years and dealing with people with all kinds of aches and pains. And the first thing I do is I look at their feet and then watch them walk so that I can determine the imbalances that are happening throughout the whole body, not just the foot. So here are some quick exercises you can do to restore balance to your feet and the rest of your body. First, you want to get your feet straight. You want them to point straight ahead, and you want the big toe also to be pointing straight ahead. So if your toes are turning in, then turn your feet in so that your toes are pointing straight. Next, you're going to spread your toes out, and you're going to go up on your toes, and you're going to hang out here for a second. Next, you're going to grab your hands behind your back. So your hands are going to grab behind your back. You're going to stay up on your toes, and you're going to squeeze your shoulder blades back. Okay, so your feet are spread, your toes are spread. You're up on your toes, your heels are up off the ground, your hands are clasped behind you, squeeze your shoulder blades back, and you're gonna go up as high as you can, and you're gonna hold this for 30 seconds. Now what's happening here is we're engaging all the stabilizers of your feet, of your ankles, of your lower leg, and of your hips. And we've taken your upper body out of play entirely, meaning it can't help, which is what we want. Now you might find your balance freaking out here, and that's normal. Let it, because this is your foot trying to find proprioception, meaning it's trying to find balance and using the muscles that it needs to use to create stability. So stay up there for 30 seconds and hold. Okay, as soon as you're done, you're going to pigeon toe your feet. Touch your big toes together, kick your heels out, and lock out your knees. And now you're going to go up on your toes again. And this time though, as you go up on your toes, you're going to bend your knees and you're going to bring your arms out in front of you. So your feet are pigeon-toed, you're up on your toes, your arms are in front of you, and you're trying to balance. And as you do this, you're going to notice your powerful leg muscles, your hip muscles kick in to try and help. Now this is important because we need to connect the ankle, the knee, and the hip together as a unit again. Now this is not easy. As you can tell, this is tough for me as I'm trying to keep my balance and talk to you at the same time. Okay, that's okay. You're gonna have balance issues, and again, this is your body finding stability. Your ankle, your knee, and your hip working together to find stability so that your feet can do the job they're designed to do. Again, 30 seconds is all you need. You can stay up to a minute if you want. This has just got easy for me, and it will for you too. As soon as your muscles figure it out, they'll work and they'll do their job. Okay, the next exercise is you're going to stagger your feet. So your right foot's going to go behind you, your left foot's going to go in front of you. And you want to make sure that that back foot, both feet are pointing straight ahead. And this is crucial and important. And you're going to bend both knees slightly, but keep your heels down. Next, you're going to spread out your toes the best that you can. And you're gonna go bring your toes up off the ground and then push them down into the ground. Up off the ground, down into the ground. So you're pulling your toes up, pushing them down, your knees are slightly bent, your heels are down, your feet are straight, and your upper body is straight up and down. Don't bend forward. Bring your upper body back, relax your shoulders, and get your toes up and push them down. Up and down, feet staggered, just like this. You want to do this 20 times and then switch legs. So your right foot goes forward, your left heel is on the ground. You're going to feel that balance again. Drop your knees, toes up, push down, toes up, push down. Upper body stays straight up and down as you do it. So toes up, push down. Now you're going to feel the muscles of your foot, the muscles of your ankle, your toes obviously engage. This is important. Your toes have not been doing the job that they're supposed to do. They've gotten all bunched up together and their muscles in your foot aren't doing their jobs because they can't. The toes aren't in the right place to do it. So we're retraining your foot, retraining your toes, and connecting that to the rest of your body in order for them to work properly. So up and down 20 times. And you can do this up to 3 sets of 20 each side. So after 20, you go back, lift up your toes, push them down, and spread them out at the same time. Now, it's important while you do this, you're not lifting up the ball of your foot. The ball of your foot is staying down. Just your toes are lifting up and pushing down. Last exercise. You're going to pigeon toe your feet, lock out your knees, thighs tight, so you're going to contract your thigh muscles, toes together. You're going to make a fist, thumbs up. And now you're going to bring your arms straight up overhead. Push your knees back, look up at your hands, thumbs behind you, and pull your arms back. Now what is this doing? Couple things. One, it's realigning your ankle, your knee, your hip, your shoulder, and your ear in a straight line again. Also, it's realigning your upper back, which is imperative. Remember, your upper back has been compromised because of the position and function of your feet. So pull your hands back, look up, push your knees back, keep your toes touching, and you're going to hang out here for about 30 seconds. This is going to be difficult. Relax your stomach, pull back, and hold. And after 30 seconds, relax, shake it out. You're going to notice immediately you feel taller, you feel more upright, you feel more balanced, and as you look down at your feet, you should notice that they're much more equal, right to left, front to back, side to side. I hope this helps. Let me know how it goes, and I hope to see you soon.